Hi there! In today's video I'm working on my AI YouTube short generator project again. And the goal of this project is to take some source material, like a news article, and then convert that into a YouTube short with a voice narration and some background images that fade in the background, and then the transcript of the narration on top of the background, just like all the YouTube shorts are doing nowadays. So currently we are able to generate the narration, so the text of the narration, based on the source material, which in this case is this article from Giant Freaking Robot. And we also create the voice narration using the 11 Labs API. So here's a quick sample.
AI, or artificial intelligence, has come a long way in recent years. However, it still has its limitations. AI relies on existing information to generate content based on prompts. But could we be on the verge of a true breakthrough?
Also, along with the narration, we create these background image descriptions, which we then convert to actual images using the DALL-E 3 API. So now the idea of today's video is to actually create the video out of these. So put these all together. So let's do it. How can we generate a video out of these images? I actually have no idea. I'm guessing there's some Python library to do this. So let's figure this thing out. So let's ask ChatGPT how we can create a video out of images. I want to create a vertical video with Python where images are fading between each other in the background. What is actually the word I'm looking for? Fading between each other. I guess it will understand this. Let's just start with this and see what it suggests. Now, I'm not sure if I needed to say vertical video, but here's the code. So we can actually use CV2. I know about this library, but I have not used it that much. So basically we define the width and height and the frame rate, and then we open the video writer and set the output file name, and we define the images, and then we just loop through all of the images, and we read the images, and then we do something fancy with the alpha, I guess to fade it between each other. And we're using some kind of math here, which I know nothing about, but looks good to me. So let's copy this code and let's actually create video.py. And let's put this in here. And let's actually put the images here. I think we can just say os.listDir and we can say images. And why is it done like this? Shouldn't I just use enumerate and then we get the I and the image? And I mean, I guess because we need the next one, then we can say just here image, which I guess doesn't change much, but I just want to use it like this instead of this. So let's actually run this and see if we get some sort of video. Now, we didn't define any length of the video, so I'm not sure what this linspace function does. Return evenly spaced numbers over a specified interval. Aha. Returns num evenly spaced samples calculated over the interval start-stop. Okay, so it's not that complicated. So basically we will have 30 numbers from 0 to 1 because the frame rate is 30. But is that actually what we want to do? So actually I think that this should not be the frame rate. This is the length of the animation. Basically what we're doing here is we are drawing a blended image of the two images as one frame. And the alpha is going to be from 0 to 1 over 30 frames. So basically it means that this will take 1 second. So for each of the images, we are going to fade one to the other in a second. So basically it should last for 4 seconds. Okay, let's see if this works. Python 3 video.py. And we got an error. Cannot open image3 WebP because I actually have to add the images folder because listdir only gives you the file name. So we have to do this. Read from images / and I guess we have to again do os path join so that Windows people will not complain. And this one as well. Now I guess there's some other function that will get the whole path, but I don't know that by heart, so this doesn't work either. Could not broadcast input array from shape into shape. There's a problem. Our source images are too small. So what if we just, for now, say 1024? And in fact, wait a minute. So this is the blended image. But what is this? Why is it 1024, 1080? Why is it 1024, 1080? Where does this come from? Well, let's see. So what if I just change this to 1024? Let's run this again. And this is of course the reason why we were using that range format, because now we're trying to read the next image that doesn't exist. So I completely embarrassed myself. So I'm going to go and copy this again. And let's do it like this. So run it. And video has been saved. Let's take a look at our video. Vertical video.avi. We cannot apparently open it in VS Code, so let's do xdg open vertical video.avi. And look at this, it is actually working, it is fading the images. So now we just have to scale the images up, or I don't know if we can create larger images with DALL-E 3. There is actually a thing that we can use, which is the size, but I'm not sure what is the biggest size. So actually we have 1024 times 1792. Is that the same aspect ratio? Actually, that will solve our issue. So let's do that. I will move these images into a folder, which I actually will move outside of this because I'm using list dir. So it will also list the old if I put it in there. But now I have these images saved because they are pretty cool. And let's change our images.py. And let's change the size of the image. I mean, I guess we could do something like size, and we can pass it here. Size, and let's set a default of this. So now we generate these size images. Although, I forgot, I want to move the images around. So maybe it's not what we want. Let's see what will happen. So what is the biggest then? Can we do... Well, that's the biggest. It's just a wide aspect ratio. But hey, let's try it. So let's create new images and see what they will look like. So I'm going to run script.py. And currently we are only creating the narration without the audio, and then we are creating the images. And that was pretty fast. Did we actually do anything? We did not. So what did we actually do? We only created one paragraph of text. So let's run it one more time. Hopefully it works. So perhaps we want to set a seed again. Okay, now we got all this stuff. And we should start generating images. And here we have the first one, which looks pretty nice. And it is actually a vertical image. So let's wait for the other images to finish. And here's another one, which is not that amazing. And it might actually be that with different size images, you get kind of different sort of results. But this is kind of weird. Why did these white borders? That is a really bad result. But that again looks pretty nice. And we have number 5. And actually we have 6 this time. And this is interesting. What is happening here? Let's check out the 7th one. We actually had 7 images. Whoa, what is going on here? What? That is interesting. What was the prompt to create this? Let's check the data.json. An image of a computer-generated face with uncertain expression. All right. Well, let's now run again our video.py. And let's see what kind of video we get. Okay, it has been created, so I'm going to open it. And here we have now an actual vertical video, and it looks pretty nice. Now, of course, this is too fast. I don't want it to work like this. And is it actually the same aspect ratio? Can I how can I see if there's like a black border in this? I think it is correct now. So let's change how the video should actually look. So I will in fact call this fade time, and let's define that here. Fade time is actually, I want to use like milliseconds. So I'll say 1,000. Or maybe even 2,000. So I want to take 2 seconds to fade between them. So how do we convert that into frames? So we divide by 1,000 to get it as seconds, and then we multiply by 30. And do we have to like make it an int or round it or something? Let's make it an int. Or in fact, let's do ceil. It's not ceil. Do I have to import math or something? Import math. I guess that is the way to do it. Okay. So then we might add like a wait time. So how long one image stays up. So let's say for I in range wait time. And again divided by 1,000 times 30. And I guess we have to do ceil with this again. And here we are just going to write a video frame. So I guess we're going to do this. So this, I guess, initializes the frame, fills it with zeros. So then we can actually use this to copy the blended image into that frame. And I guess this is like the size. What does that mean? I actually don't know what this syntax means. Why is there semicolon here and a comma and a semicolon? So can I just say image 1 here? Will that write image 1 into the frame? And we are going to do this wait time times. So this should wait time milliseconds in that image. So if I say here, wait time is, let's say, 4 seconds. So then we should have a 4-second wait, and then we should fade for 2 seconds, and we should repeat that for all the images. Let's see if that will work. So let's run it again. And we didn't get any errors, so I guess it worked. So if I now open this, then we should have this image here for 4 seconds, and then slowly over 2 seconds we should fade it, and that is actually what is happening. So now it actually works. And we are fading to this one, and then we wait here for 4 seconds, and then we're going to fade to the next one. So this is exactly what I wanted to do. So now I just have to add the narration on top of this and somehow figure out how we can show the actual transcript on it. So let's figure that out. Now, I guess YouTube Shorts should be looping, so maybe we want to add one more after this loop, so that then we take again image 1 and image 2, but they are going to be image paths I. Is I still available in Python after the for loop? I'm not sure. And then this will be 0. So we fade back to the first image, so then it will loop. And we're going to do one more fade like this. Okay, that should work. Okay, it actually didn't work. For some reason we got list index out of range. So why is that? What is I? I is, oh sorry, we have another I here. So let's call this X or J, or in fact underscore, because we don't use this one. So now it should work. Okay, it almost worked, but actually I have to say I plus 1 here, because I is going to be the next to last image. But now it will work. So then we have to add audio to this video. Now, I'm not sure if CV2 can do it. Let's ask ChatGPT. Can I add an audio track to the video with CV2? But if not, then of course we can use FFmpeg. Okay, MoviePy. Do I really want to do that? Set audio. I think I'll just use FFmpeg. So we are going to create the video, and then we are just going to do import sub-process, and we are going to do sub-process run, and let's do FFmpeg. And I is going to be output file, and we will also add our narration.mp3, I guess it was called. Yes. And I don't actually remember what the command is to add audio to video with FFmpeg. Then I'll say, how can I do it with FFmpeg instead? Okay, so I video file name, I audio file name. So we have to actually specify 2 I's and then do that. Okay, let's do that. This is the command, and video is output file name, and audio is narration.mp3, and then we should have an output file name. So let's call this final video, let's say that the final video is going to be final video.mp4. I mean, I guess it should be AVI since we start with an AVI. And we just do this ffmpeg command and shell equals true. And we say video saved as final video. And we can do os.remove output file because we don't want the one without the audio. So let's run this and see if it works. Okay, but we got an error from ffmpeg. So it says this is the usage. So we used it wrong. What do you mean? Let's check. Did it say something else here? Shell equals true. ffmpeg command. I think the command is a bit more complicated. We have to map something. I think you forgot to map the audio. You are correct. So this is what we have to do. All right. Let's copy that and paste it in here. And this one was again output file. And this one is narration.mp3. And this is final video. Let's try one more time. Again, we got the same error. So we did not get a video. So I'm going to just ask in another chat, how do I use ffmpeg to add an audio track to a video file? And here is what we have to do. We have to say map 0, map 1, and then do this. So I think we have to move these up over here. And here it just says 0 and 1, but I think we can specify that this is for video and this is for audio. And strict experimental and shortest. Here we don't have shortest, but that should be fine. Let's see. Will this work? It will not work. What is going on here? Let's copy this one. And we are going to say that this is final.mp4 and input audio is going to be narration. And input video is going to be, well, we don't have the video now. So let me create it. I'm going to just exit at this point. And let's do Python 3 video.py. So now we should have a vertical video. And let's see if this works. That worked. So what is going on here? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why are we setting shell to true? We use this if we don't want to pass this list. So let's remove that. Then it's going to work. For sure. Let's run it. Okay, now we actually did it. So let's then run xdg open final video.avi.
AI, or artificial intelligence, has come a long way in recent years. However, it still has its limitations. AI relies on existing information to generate content based on prompts. But could we be on the verge of a true breakthrough? According to AI expert Dr. Lance B. Elliott, OpenAI's Q** project may be a step closer to achieving artificial general intelligence, or true AI. The potential implications are profound. But the advent of true AI raises ethical questions. Should companies like OpenAI share their breakthroughs with the public or keep them to themselves? The risks of...
Okay, so we stopped too early, but we were able to combine these images and the narration. So the next thing we would have to do is to somehow figure out the timing, because now it's just fading every 4 seconds. But that is maybe not exactly what we want. So could we actually create the narration paragraph by paragraph? Then we can actually calculate the length of one paragraph of narration. So then we can actually time the images to the narration. Let's try and do that. So basically in this parse function, we parse the narration and the images from the output of ChatGPT. And then in create, we combine all of the paragraphs into this one narration string. But what if we don't do that? What if instead we do this directly? We move this inside of this loop and we pass the content directly into the input here. So then we create separate files. And I will actually call this output folder. And then let's say this. Output file is going to be OS path join output folder, and let's call this narration, and let's add some number, n.mp3, and n is going to plus equal 1, and it will start from 0. So now we create a separate audio file for each of the parts in the narration. And I will also do here, if not OS path exists, output folder, sorry, just like that, then OS make dears output folder. So then in our script, we're actually not creating the narration now, so we have to say narration.create. And we'll pass in the data that we parsed, and then we say narration, it's the output folder. So we should create a narration folder, should be narrations, and then we create the images. But for now, let's just create the narrations. So let's run this. Script.py. And we have created a narrations folder, and we have narration 1, which is 23 seconds. That's very long. Narration 2 is 20 seconds. And narration 3 is 26 seconds. Okay. So we have to somehow tell ChatGPT not to make such long narrations. Now, does it really take 20 seconds to say this? Let's see what this sounds like.
Generative AI has made significant advancements in recent years, but it still has its limitations. AI relies on existing information to generate content based on the prompts given. However, there's exciting news in the field of artificial general intelligence, AGI. According to a Forbes column, OpenAI's Q** project might be one step closer to achieving true AI breakthrough.
Okay, was that in fact just one of these parts? It was not. Wait a minute. I'm not saving the data. Damn it. So let's try one more time. So this time it created a very long narration. Now I guess I should delete these from here now. And again, we created just 3 of these, and they're 20 seconds long. So let's change our prompt. And let's actually say that create just 2 sentences. Actually, I say here a few sentences. So let's say 2 sentences of narration. And let's see how that will work. All right, and still we have just 3 files. And they are in fact, well, one of them is shorter, but this one is still long. Or did we not recreate the third one? Let's listen to this.
Generative AI, while impressive, has its limitations. It lacks the ability for abstract thought and relies on existing information. But recent talks of a breakthrough with OpenAI's Q** project suggest we may be closer to achieving true artificial intelligence.
Okay, I think that was more than 2 sentences. So I'm actually now wondering, should I just let it write whatever it wants, and then I could split the sentences and generate those separately? What if I just say 1 sentence of narration, and let's run it. And I should delete these, just to be sure that we don't use the same things. Alright, now we created 7 different files, and these are around 10-12 seconds each. Pretty reliably they are like 12 seconds, so that's actually a good thing. But let's listen to it.
Generative AI in its current state is limited by its inability to think abstractly. But a recent column in Forbes suggests that we may be closer to achieving artificial general intelligence, AGI, or true AI, than we think.
Okay, that was pretty good. How about number 2?
According to AI expert Dr. Lance B. Elliott, OpenAI's Q** project could potentially lead to a true AI breakthrough, but there are still hurdles to overcome.
Alright, that actually was 1 sentence. And we can almost just guess that it's gonna be 12 seconds long. But let's now delete all of these files. And let's delete all of these images. And let's check one more time this data. Do we have images for each of the sentences? We do not. We don't have any images. So what was the response? Okay, so we did not add those square brackets around here. So let's upgrade our system message again. Let's do this. Respond with a pair of an image description in square brackets and a narration below it. Both of them should be on their own lines, as follows. Now, I feel like maybe I should start using the JSON mode now, because I'm already adding so much weird context into this system message. But let's see if that will work. And I don't have any images now, and I don't have any narrations. So I'm going to go to my script.py, and I am going to remove this exit. So now we're going to do the whole thing again. So we will generate the narration audio, and the images. So let's do it. All right, we have generated 7 images and 7 narration sentences. So we have this kind of image, which is pretty cool, and this kind of image, which is interesting, and this is even more interesting. And what about this? Okay. And the 5th one, we're doing some math apparently, and here we are thinking about AI. And finally, we are shocked at what ChatGPT said. And we have 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and 8 seconds. Now, I'm not good at math, but maybe that is in fact around a minute. So let's see how we can now combine all of this into a short video. In our video.py, we are looping through all of the images. And what we can also do is we can get the narration for this image. So the narration is going to be, actually, it is just going to be OS path join narrations, and let's do an F string narration and I +1 dot mp3. So that is the narration. So can we actually get the length of this narration? How do I get the length of an audio file or duration with Python? Can we use CV2? No, we have to use PyDub. Okay, so we're going to do that. We are going to import PyDub. And let's make a function from this. Let's say get audio duration with the audio file. And we're going to do this. And actually, I want the milliseconds. So I will just return this. So basically, I can just return the length of this. And this is going to be audio file. And let's move this up here. So then we can actually get in milliseconds the duration. So that will be this wait time. So I will call it duration. Duration equals get audio duration of narration. And we can subtract from this the fade time. So then we're going to stop for this amount of time, and then we're going to fade to the next image. So we can actually remove our wait time, and fade time can be 2 seconds, although maybe it can be just 1. And then instead of just adding the narration.mp3, we have to add all of them. Now, I can't just do this, I don't think. I can't just say narration 1, 2, and 3, because I have to change the map somehow. It's very complicated. But we can at least use ffmpeg to concatenate audio. But can we use PyDub? Can I concatenate audio with PyDub? Yes. Okay. Just plus. Python is amazing. So let's actually do that. So let's add like a list of narrations here. Let's say narrations is a list. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to say narrations append, and we're going to do this audio segment from file narration. Or in fact, we just add them. So we can just say full narration is what actually? Can we just create a new audio segment? Can we just do that? And then we just say narrations plus equals the narration. In fact, full narration equals that. I think we can just do that. And then we can export it. Let's see if that actually works. I'm not sure if plus equals is the same as this. I'm guessing it's the same. Why wouldn't it be the same? So down here we are going to say full narration export. And let's just call this narration.mp3. And then we can just use this same thing. And we can actually remove narration.mp3 because this is going to be a temporary file. And actually that should work. So let's try it. Let's run python3 video.py. And we get an error. Non-type object has no attribute read. So can I initialize an empty audio segment and then use the plus equals operator? Yes. Okay, just we have to call empty. So let's do that. This is an empty audio segment. And then we run it. And still, is it the same line? Yes. Audio segment dot empty. Let's run it again. And now we're doing something. Hopefully it works first try, like most of the things that I do on this channel. And we're actually asking, do you want to override final video? Yes, I want to override. And that's it. So I will actually add here the Y flag. And can I say capture output? True. I don't want any output from this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, XDG open. Final video. Let's open it.
Generative AI has come a long way, but it still has limitations in original and abstract thought. But recent talks suggest OpenAI's Q** project may be one step closer to achieving true AI. However, the potential advent of true AI raises ethical concerns regarding its release and misuse. Current AI technologies rely on patterns and prompts, but true AI could become sentient and surpass human intelligence. QA's learning algorithms have shown potential in solving math problems and improving its processes. But as we approach the possibility of true AI, we must consider if we are truly ready for its impact on society.
Okay, so it actually works. But I think the order of these images is incorrect. So probably when we call list dir, it is actually not sorting them. So is there some sort of sort here? I don't think so. But I guess since we are naming them this way, and there are no more than 7 of these, we can just use sorted. So let's do sorted image paths. Because it started with the last image, but it should start with this image. Or was there a problem with the actual loop here? I don't think so. So let me make this again. Python3 video.py. And let's open it.
Generative AI has come a long way, but it still has limitations in original and abstract thought. But recent talks suggest OpenAI's Q** project may be one step closer to achieving true AI.
Okay, I think I actually have to sort them in reverse. So let's say, actually, what am I doing? This is not PHP. We have to actually say image paths equals sorted image paths. And let's exit and actually print this thing. Print image paths. And what does it print? Now they are for sure in the right order. Did this actually do anything? If I run it like that, yeah, now they're in a different order. So let's sort them and then do this again.
Generative AI has come a long way, but it still has limitations in original and abstract thought. But recent talks suggest OpenAI's Q** project may be one step closer to achieving true AI. However, the potential advent of true AI raises ethical concerns regarding its release and misuse. Current AI technologies rely on patterns and prompts, but true AI could become sentient and surpass human intelligence. QA's learning algorithms have shown potential in solving math problems and improving its processes. But as we approach the possibility of true AI, we must consider if we are truly ready for its impact on society.
Okay, now it works. But I think that we are changing the slide a bit too early. But I still like the speed at which the actual, or the length, the duration of the fade animation. That is fine. But we are changing it too early. So how can we fix that? So if we use the full duration, then it will start fading after the first narration ends. But then the next one will also be the full length of the narration, which is now too much. So then it will offset. So should we say if I is greater than 0, then duration minus equals fade time. So on the first one, we are not going to subtract the fade time. So on the next iteration, we will subtract the fade time, meaning that it will again start changing when it gets to the end of the narration. So is that actually all I have to do? Now, we actually are not looping right now because we are stopping the video when the narration stops, because we use this shortest flag here. So I guess if we want to loop, we should subtract the fade time from the last one. So basically we should do this again if we are on the last image. So if the I equals len image paths minus 1, right? Yes. Then we subtract the fade time again. So the last slide will be shorter so that it has time to change back to the original image. So then we're going to loop nicely. Let's try that.
Generative AI has come a long way, but it still has limitations in original and abstract thought. But recent talks suggest OpenAI's Q** project may be one step closer to achieving true AI. However, the potential advent of true AI raises ethical concerns regarding its release and misuse. Current AI technologies rely on patterns and prompts, but true AI could become sentient and surpass human intelligence. QA's learning algorithms have shown potential in solving math problems and improving its processes. But as we approach the possibility of true AI, we must consider if we are truly ready for its impact on society.
Okay, so it worked fine until the end. We didn't actually loop. I mean, this doesn't loop in this particular program, but like we didn't change back to the first image for some reason. So I'm not going to delete the output file. And let's see what that actually looks like. So the output file is called what? It is the vertical video.avi. So let's open that. And how does this end? We actually do fade back to the original, but this is now too long, I guess. No, wait a minute. Something weird happens. Aha. Why does that happen? All right, I figured out what the problem was. The problem is that we are not adding the last narration part to the full narration. So we have to do that after this loop. So we have to add the last narration, which is then going to be this. So then it should work. Let's try it one more time. Okay, it still didn't work. And I think the reason is now that our video is too short. So now the narration stopped short in the middle of the last part. So something is wrong with my math. Let's think about this. If we have these segments, which are the narration parts, and then on the first iteration, we show a static image until the end of the duration of the first narration. And then here we do the fade. Then we are going to subtract from the wait time, the fade time. So then we should start again here. And then again, we subtract the fade time from the wait time, so we do this. And it should just work the same way until the end. And when we're on the last one, we are going to subtract one more from here. And then we're going to fade to the first image from this. So I don't know what is the issue here. Wait a minute. We are using math.ceil. So we are going to make this longer than it actually should be, because this is going to be seconds. But of course, we are not getting the duration of the last narration. So in fact, we are not going to do this in here, because this is going to be the next to the last narration, isn't it? Because we are looping only through the length of the images minus 1. So we have to do the last part outside of this loop. So after we go through this loop, we have to again show the last image for the duration of the narration. So in fact, what I will do to make this simpler is I will remove this part after the loop, and I will in fact use my enumerate, and I will enumerate over the image paths, and I'll get the eye and the image from there. And the image 1 is going to be this. Fine, we can do that. And we can do this. If we have this, how do we check this? If image paths I plus 1, can I just do this? Or do I have to say get I plus 1? I'm not quite sure. I think we can't use get with a list. But anyway, if we have it, then we're going to use it. Otherwise, we are going to use the first image. So the image 2 is going to be number 0. So now we actually add all of the narrations, and now we can add here. If I equals length of the image paths minus 1. So if we're on the last image, we are going to subtract again the fade time from that. So that's going to work. But I have to ask ChatGPT, how do I check in Python if a list has an element in a specific index? Okay, that looks so stupid. Why do you have to do it like that? I guess I can just say if I is less than the length of image paths, then it's going to work. So let's see if it actually works. It, in fact, does not work because this needs to be minus 1. And now it is going to work.
Generative AI has come a long way, but it still has limitations in original and abstract thought. But recent talks suggest OpenAI's Q** project may be one step closer to achieving true AI. However, the potential advent of true AI raises ethical concerns regarding its release and misuse. Current AI technologies rely on patterns and prompts, but true AI could become sentient and surpass human intelligence. QA's learning algorithms have shown potential in solving math problems and improving its processes. But as we approach the possibility of true AI, we must consider if we are truly ready for its impact on society. True AI holds the promise of great advancements, but we must be cautious of its potential to outlearn and replace human thought.
Okay, finally, it is now a repeating video. So now, the next step would be to actually add the transcription of the narration on top of the video. But that is going to be a video for another day. So make sure to subscribe to my channel if you like this sort of videos and want to see the next one. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.